righty, what do we have here? Another Mercedes coming in from Texas. This is a Mercedes SL500. You see the white one down there? You see it? Yeah, baby. Another one coming in for a coilover conversion. Getting rid of that ABC and installing Silver's Neomax adjustable coilovers.
Come through, Brent.
All right, so we have 2006 Mercedes SL500. Now it got delivered from Texas, but it is originally from Louisiana. I said Louisville, from Louisiana, but it was located in Texas. So let's see what we have here. The keys right here. Start her out. All right. ABC light is on, the white light. That's cool. I'm not even gonna try to activate ABC. I'm gonna just get this home safely. Right around the corner. How many miles is on here? 51,000. Low miles. Low miles. Right. Just get her home safe. I don't see too many of the white ones. I think I've only done maybe one, maybe two, but you don't see a lot of white. So this is a nice color. Almost looks vanilla. All right. So thankfully the car got delivered with the suspension in a lock position up in the air. It's like high in the front. It's probably locked out, so that's good. Sometimes when the system fails, it drops, but Mercedes designed it usually for it to be in a higher position for a while until you can get it, towed to where it needs to be whenever the ABC needs attention. That's by design. Looks good. Looks good. All right, so as you know, I gotta move some things around and get it into the garage. Another coilover conversion about to begin. Uh-oh, ABC light is on. Now here's some clicking. What is that? Might be the suspension. Let me pop the hood and see what that sound is. It's like a click, 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 click. Never heard that before. Let's see if it's coming from up here. Ooh, it's pretty. Very nice. Nah, I'm not hearing it. I don't know what that sound is from. I can smell something. Maybe that's the hydraulic fluid. I don't know. But I was hearing it. Not sure if the pump was trying to lift up the strut or what. I don't know. But anyways, so the red ABC light is on now. It was white, now it's red. So the system definitely is compromised and needs some work. But instead of repairing ABC, I'm replacing the ABC. All right, so I'm moving some things around, making some space so that I can go ahead and get this Mercedes SL into the garage. Winter time, it's still here, but the snow has all melted finally. And it's time to get busy, man. Feels a lot better out here. It hit 60 plus degrees yesterday. So today is gonna be, I don't know, upper 50s, maybe 60, not sure. But it's time to go ahead and get this beautiful thing in the garage. Did I already do a walk around? Let me do another one. All right, so I see that the front is up a little bit. All right, let's see. White with the cream interior. Unique interior. I don't really see a lot of this real light color on these cars. All right, starts right up. Initially, you get the white ABC light. I did see the red earlier. Convenience feature functions. That's because that rear battery needs to be charged up. It's been sitting here. I don't know how long it's been sitting before that, but now you have the red ABC light. So the ABC system does not work. All right, it's cut off. It's shut down, and the struts are locked into place. Sometimes you get this right here due to the heat. This is coming from, I think, where does it come from? Texas. And it's going back to Louisiana. All right, let's see. All right, so it's high enough, locked out. The struts are locked out. I love it when ABC fails and it does that instead of it dropping. Now, from what I understand, ABC, when it fails, it will go into the highest position it should and lock out, and it will hold pressure for a while until it decides to start dropping over time. But that allows you to get it onto a tow truck, get it to a safe place. If every time ABC failed, it dropped to its lowest setting immediately, you'd be in trouble. Everybody's SL would have torn up front bumpers. Because one catastrophic failure would destroy your front bumper. That'd be an expensive situation. Convenience features, I think, just turned on. I'm hearing a little static. But that just means the car needs to be idled, needs to be driven, needs to be started up, so that the alternator can charge that battery in the rear. See if I'm in far enough. All right, so it is in the garage, and let's take a look at this engine. See what it's looking like. There goes the most precious silvers and Neomax coilovers. That's what makes it all possible. All right, anyways. Whew. All right, white. It's white. All right, everything is tight and right. I like it. See, I don't see any noticeable leaks. Well, you know, I'll see it's sitting here in the garage. When I start disassembling things, I'll see if there's any leaks. Try to figure out why the ABC light is on. I could have ran a scanner, but it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I mean, I can do that for the people, just so y'all know why this one stopped working. Most of the time, it is a leak. Most of the time, it's easy to see. But it could be pressure. The pump could not be putting the proper pressure out. I don't know. Like I said, the suspension is raised up, so that's good. It's in the lockout position. Cool. Yeah, I like the white. The white allows you to make that silver pop. If this is my personal one, I like the AMG wheels. I do like that. I would put tinted windows on here if this is my personal one. And let me see. The headlights look super crispy. I like that. Nice wheels, nice silver accents. The grille looks good. There's also additional grills if you black out the windshield, the windows. It will make everything else pop. On this white, I think that's what it needs. But either way, you can't go wrong with white. White looks really good. With the light interior, I would create more of a contrast, like tinted windows. Open up the door, you see that pretty cream interior. This is just a very beautiful car. Very beautiful car. And if heat is what caused that radio screen to go out like that, to kind of burn or melt and cause some distortion to the plastic screen itself, then I would definitely do tint just to cool the interior down a little bit. Just my suggestion. But very nice car. Let me check this out. All right, cool. I gotta be careful. This is exposed. Does it have the locking lug bolt? All right, so those are not on here. Hopefully, we just have the factory lug bolts on the wheels. Got some extra CHF. Yep. That Pentosan fluid. All right, cool, man. Cool. Oh, gotta be careful. All right. So stiff. Kind of one-handed. You didn't like that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pull this carpet back to get access to the top of the struts. All right, which y'all know, that's what I do. That's how you get access. Just like that. All right, I just did that with one hand just to demonstrate, but that's what you have to do. Okay, so I'm gonna start the process here in a little bit. We'll get some other things ready and the project begins. Okay, so I'm pretty far along. I've already done the pump itself. I pulled that out. I've also pulled out the valve blocks, some of the lines. I got the front struts pulled out. Now I wanted to acknowledge that the front driver's side strut was an R-knot. And I hate R-knot struts when it comes to the removal process, because instead of using a 21 millimeter nut, they always use a 22. Also, the gapping between the lower control arm and the strut, like the tie rod, I guess, not ball joint, whatever you call it, tie rod, whatever. The tie rod or ball joint separator, right, the fork is not wide enough to separate it on its own. So you have to use two forks, one from up underneath on one side and another one on the other side. And when I say the sides, because I do not put a fork, I don't want to get my hands dirty. You know what, I will. I just washed my hands. Anyways, so when you're removing the original strut, you're running this fork on one side like this on the outside, right? Not completely over like this, because it won't fit, first of all, but second of all, you do it on the outside between the lower control arm and the strut. So when you have the R knot, it requires two. It requires one from up underneath, act like this is connected, one from up underneath on one side, and then you're banging the top from the other side, creating more gap, because this right here is not wide enough. The fork can get pushed all the way down past it, past the lower control arm. It's already removed, you can't see it, but that's the point. And you don't want to, you want to kind of preserve this as much as possible. This right here they pack that with grease on the inside. So when you compromise that boot right there with the fork, you're kind of, I'm not going to say you're rendering this useless, but whoever decides to use it again, if you decide to sell them or reuse them for somebody else's car, just know that that boot gets compromised oftentimes. It gets ripped with the fork. So try to carefully remove them just in case you do want to sell those as a good set to somebody else, or maybe use them for another vehicle. Some people who have SLs have another SL. I know several people who have a converted SL and a non-converted SL just because they love these cars so much. So driver's side, that's always a little bit more difficult to remove. Whenever I see an R-knot strut, I take a deep breath because it always takes a little bit more work to get that thing pulled out. Then you have the OEM right there, which was easy to come out. Then again, I did have to bang the heck out of this side to get it out, that fork with the hammer. Use a heavy hammer when you do it and bang it out and it will come out. You have to bang it, put the fork on the outer side of between the strut and the lower control arm. Bang it with a hammer and it will come out every time, guaranteed. Sometimes you gotta beat it up a little bit, more. Usually I can do it in like 4 or 5 swings. That one took about 20 swings. This is what it is. So now at this point, I am going to install, I have to measure those out, the coilovers, and then I'll install those. All right, then I do the rear. And in the rear, I still have to remove the valve blocks from back there. And then I'll do the coilovers. Coilovers in the rear are the smaller ones, the taller ones are the front. Now these are the sizes when they come out the box. They have to be increased in length to about here. Decrease a little bit. I have like a pre-measurement video that shows you how to set them up. And if you do them right, you don't have to go back in there and make any adjustments. You do it right off the vehicle so that once you put them on the vehicle, you're done. You don't have to do anything else. So that's what I'm about to do. Install the front. We'll get those adjusted first and then install them in the front. And then I'll work my way to the back. And that's it. But I already have the pump installed. The standard power steering pump down there. You use the same belt. You don't have to change the belt out unless your belt is bad or worn out. It's a good time to change out that. If your pulleys are bad, it's a good time to change out the idler pulleys and the tensioner pulley. Most cases, those are all good. If I see something that's obvious, then I let the owner know. But so far, so good. All right. Nice Mercedes OEM wheels. I like these. I have these wheels on my S55. That's a nice wheel. It's a good look for this car. All right, so let me go do what I need to do. But I just want to give you all that heads up regarding that R-knot strut. At some point, this strut was replaced. I don't know about the rear, but in the front, that strut has been replaced, driver's side front. All right, it's a good strut. I actually was able to remove that without damaging it. That's a good strut. So I have a bunch of those R-knots. A lot of people use R-knot struts as replacements. I have a lot of those in storage, by the way. If you need one, let me know. I'm selling, of course, the used struts that are good. I have a storage unit, probably about 200 of those things in there. It's just what it is. All right, back to work. All right, so all the parts are removed and replaced. I just wanted to pick the video up right here because I'm loading it up in the back of my truck. This is what I use my GL550 for. Is for car parts, taking stuff back and forth to storage, and also for my firefighter job. Anyways, here, R-knot in the front, and also this one is an R-knot. I gotta turn it around, but let me see. There you go. So this one also was an R-knot in the rear. So front and rear, both of them on the driver's side, as a matter of fact. Now this was the original one. You can see here, it's raggedy. Now it just doesn't have the dust cover, which is this piece right here. And this ring right here is what is supposed to, I think, lock the dust cover in place. I think, I can't remember, but it's obviously, yeah, this right here snaps on right here. The dust cover covers this whole piece. You see it's torn. This is the existing part. So here goes the ring that keeps the upper part attached to the strut, and here goes the lower. Do you have to absolutely use these? Over time, they begin to crack and peel off and break off in little pieces. And it starts to look horrible. They start to crack and split and flake off. What it does is it protects the shaft from debris and dirt buildup, allowing the strut to go up and down smoothly. Now, this right here won't rust, but if you start getting grit and grime on it, it can get pressed into, it can go into the piston, into the seals, and it can compromise the integrity of the strut. it can become worn prematurely. So in order to keep that dust free and dirt free, the covers, all right, you can buy those aftermarket covers if your ABC struts start to wear and become exposed. By the time that happens, I'm not gonna say that. You know, these don't fail as often as you might think. After 10, 20, 15 years, I don't know, 15, I said 10, 20, 15. These cars were first made in 02, so it's 2026. So you're talking about 24 years. Eventually, yeah, they do need to be replaced, but some people still have the original ones. It's just what it is, you know. They last a long time. They don't break down as often as you might think they would. But when you do replace them, you can replace them with used ones or with ones that are not, which is what that customer did. The coilover conversion is done. All right, I got my wiper off because she's white and you can see where my fingerprints were, but it is done. I did 3/4 of a turn all the way around on the struts, on the coilovers. When you increase the length and decrease them, let me turn this down. So this coilover conversion went very smooth. I'm gonna move my cars, pull this out, and take a better look. And also, like I said, I gotta wipe some of this dirt off. The car itself is already dirty because it's been transported, and white shows everything, but it definitely shows what I put on there. I'll pop the hood, wipe off some oil or dirt that I might have gotten on there while doing the coilover conversion, because it is very sloppy, very messy. There's a lot of oil that comes out when you do it, because I removed the lines and valve blocks and everything. A lot of stuff I throw away, some stuff I keep. Depends on the condition of it. I don't save stuff to rebuild. I don't care about that. If it's in good shape, I throw it in storage, and I might use it down the road. I might save somebody's ABC. I might sell somebody the ABC parts that they need. I try not to waste what I take off, but if it's useless, I get rid of it. Some stuff is just worn, and it's not worth taking the risk of the hard work that comes along with swapping out maybe a valve block, and then you put a bad valve block in place of a bad valve block, and they'll be pretty pissed off. Any mechanic would. So I try to make sure I save the parts that are actually good parts. Now, some customers want their stuff back. They want some of their components back that I removed, and I throw them in the trunk. Some customers say, scrap it, I don't care anything about it. I don't want to see ABC ever again in my life. So I get that too. I think after this job, the next two customers who went on the street, there's a silver one that just came from Florida. She wants her parts, some of her parts, so I'm gonna save some of her parts for her. And I think the next customer wants some of his parts. So I don't mind, I don't care. I have a storage, like I said, full of these parts. So don't think that you're making me rich by letting me keep your parts, because they don't sell like that. I have tons and tons and tons of everything. Just want you guys to know that. I have over probably 120 struts, front and rear from the ABC, from the SLs. Front, rear, you know, right, left, whatever. I have tons of that stuff. So much, I don't know what to do with it. Because the people who were buying them are not buying them right now. So it is what it is. I just stack them up, you know what I mean? This car I'm about to pull out, like I said, I'm about to pull everything out the way, and then we'll go for a ride. See how this thing feels, how it looks, how it settles. And let's see what happens, all right? Okay, move some things around. Shoot. Now, somebody actually is coming because they want to check out this car right here, the SL500. They're coming from Indiana. They're considering buying it, so I gotta move all this stuff around too. This is wedged in there. They're gonna pull that one out in order to get this one out. Oh God, it's always so much to do. But that's what it is, man. When you're in the Mercedes game, when you fix these cars, you sell these cars. I don't usually sell my personal cars, but I've been holding on to some cars, and I'm willing to let them go. I am. I'll let some things go. All depends on my mood, where I'm at in life. When I'm overwhelmed, I typically do stuff like that to make some room. I'll use some of this to get that off. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, let me pull this thing out. Whew. I'm getting old. Did y'all hear that? I'm getting old, y'all. Nice and smooth, baby. All right, convenience functions, ABC light, that's gonna come on. Convenience functions because the battery is weak in the rear. It'll still start up. Starter battery works, no problem. Sometimes with that brake pedal, the parking brake or the emergency brake pedal sticks. Like I press it down like that, then you pull the release. Sometimes it doesn't want to come up all the way. Sometimes I have to help it out with my foot. The first time I did it, I had to help it out with my foot. That was off camera. So I decided to do it again just to see. But sometimes you do gotta help it out. It gets sticky. That usually happens if there was a lot of pressure on the parking brake, which it was because I was jacking the back end up. Alrighty. Let's pull this baby out. Okay. I'm listening for any creaks, popping noises. I'm going to do, let me see. Let's see. Before I go for a ride, I'm going to double check a couple things, make sure the tops of these two front coilovers are tight. I always go back and tighten them, but I'm just make sure. I'm OCD like that. And I'm also gonna go around the car and tighten up all the lug bolts because I'm OCD like that. Just wanna make sure everything is tight and right and safe before I take it for a drive. Okay. All right, let's do this. Feels good. I did 17 in the back, 21 in the front. Feels exactly the way it's supposed to feel. Now I can feel the steering wheel is turned to the left a little bit, so it probably needs alignment. Probably already needed alignment before the install. Just so you guys know. Hold on. Alignment is not a problem that is introduced after a coilover swap. It either needed it beforehand or it didn't. When you do a coilover conversion, it doesn't change or alter the suspension to the point where you need you all of a sudden need alignment. So it's not to, don't worry about that. Did I ever say that I hate Dodges? Let me stop. All right, here you go. Drives nice and smooth. Like I said, it's 17 in the rear, so it's a little softer. It's more comfortable. I want a harder, more sporty ride, more sport-oriented feel, then I would go with the 18 in the back. But right now, it's 17. It's perfect. It feels very, very, very nice. I think the customer's gonna love it. And you see how it's sitting. Woo, it's nice, isn't it? All right, yeah, this thing feels great, man. Really does feel good. Man, I love doing these coilover jobs if you haven't been able to tell already. I just love the results. I love that customers were once unable to drive their cars and now are able to drive their cars with confidence. Huh? With confidence. I love this. He'll love it too. Now all he has to do is just maintain the car. Just take care of the car. I absolutely love it. Nice and comfortable. Nice and comfortable. It just floats, man. Floats. Very comfortable. I personally stiffen mine up a little bit because I don't want really any bounce in the rear if I hit a big dip, and I drive very fast and aggressive, so I want my rear end to be very tight. So what you get with that though is a harder ride. So that's why I said with 17 on the rear on this one, I think he's gonna be very happy. Nice and comfortable. Nice and comfortable. Alrighty. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so she is good and ready to go. Hopefully I get a chance before he gets picked up to give her a bath, because it came dirty, but I like to send these things back better than they came. And white is very beautiful when it's clean, so hopefully I can get around to doing that. It's been pretty cold here again in Cincinnati. It started snowing this morning actually. Came out, there was snow on the cars, but it has since melted, but still little snowflakes coming down. It's cold, it's cold. But yeah, it's a beautiful car, drives great. He'll be impressed. He'll definitely be impressed.